Thank you, ladies, for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you
Now,
for having us.
You're so welcome, Karen. Now, in terms of the Me Too campaign, I just wanted to kind of start off by asking everyone what their thoughts were when they actually saw the voices being spoken, the stories that were being told. Like, Emma, what did you think about the Me Too campaign when you heard about it?
Seeing all my friends and colleagues on social media speaking up about it, it both surprised me and didn't surprise me.
Right. Why is that?
Well, because everyone talks about how prominent all this stuff is, that
Right.
people are getting assaulted and harassed in the workplace and outside of the workplace a lot. But when you really see, oh, that girl I had a class with once who seemed nice, or this hilarious girl who no one should ever mess with, she dealt with it too.
Right.
It was...
So it kind of brought it home.
It brought it home, and then
Right.
it made me feel a bit braver about my personal stories.
Yeah. And do you have any personal stories? I mean, I know that you're in the entertainment business, and this has hit the entertainment business a bit, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got the Harvey Weinstein stories, and every single day there seems to be something else coming out. Have you had an experience that you'd like to share? If not, that's totally fine. That you'd like to share, perhaps, that has happened to you?
I've had a couple, I'd say, close calls, but nothing extremely serious,
Right.
not that high-level stuff. And I've been very lucky, mostly talking to friends and knowing who's bad news and seeing the signs and
Right.
cutting myself off from those
So you'd know to
mentors.
you'd stay away from them.
Yes.
Who call themselves mentors. Wow.
Yeah, and when
Wow.
you're 22 and you have a big dream and someone says, hey, this is how the industry works, you go, well, I guess that's how it works then.
Right.
And you believe it, and then something in your gut tells you that's not right. You talk to your friend and you realize, this guy's a creep.
Right.
And then you cut yourself off from that person because they're not going to understand. This is what happened to me. I just pretty much kind of said, you know what, I think I'm going to take a step back. And this guy didn't understand, and I knew that he wouldn't, so he thinks I just cut him off.
Right. Not knowing the real reason why you did it, because
Yeah.
you heard through the
I know
grapevine.
how he treated my friend.
Right.
And I could tell that he was being a little odd around me, and I felt like, you know what, I only want to be mentored by people who are good people.
Right. Very sad that they would actually use that word, you know, taking on that,
Oh, yeah.
that name, a mentor, because that's a position of power, right? And so perhaps that would lead to something like that. Now, Oral Dean, in terms of saying your work as an actress, have you, what are your thoughts on the Me Too campaign, and what do you think is going to happen in the new society, in the new culture that we're living in right now?
I was extremely relieved when I heard about the Me Too campaign, because as an upcoming actress,
Right.
I've heard horror stories, and I was worried, what favors am I going to have to do to get ahead?
Right.
And when that happened, it was like opening up Pandora's box. So I felt really relieved knowing that now producers and writers and everyone at the top have to be accountable for
Right.
how they treat us and what they say to us. It's now fair game, it's open field.
Right.
So it's, I'm relieved.
And in terms of accountability, where do you think that accountability lies in terms of the responsibility to make sure that that does not happen anymore? Is it to the guys that are seeing this, or is it to the women to speak out? Like, who you think should be held accountable?
I think the guys, and if there are women who are also doing it as well,
Right.
The accountability lies with the person who is projecting it.
Sure.
Because we're innocent people coming into the industry,
Right.
and we're asking to be treated, with respect and dignity. And if not that, then what?
Right.
So
So where do you go from there, right?
And we also, as actors, we have to speak up and stand up and say, hey, no,
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Because then if I don't do it and they move on to Emma and she does it, then,
Right. Right, exactly.
So, yeah, we also are accountable for
For that.
speaking out and saying no.
And Diane, in terms of speaking out, what do you think is going to happen now? Because everybody, left, right, and center. You saw the big interviews with the celebrity stars and all that kind of stuff. In terms of speaking out, do you think it's going to be reliant on them to speak for all of us? Or do you think average, everyday women such as yourself and myself have a responsibility to continue speaking?
We do have that kind of responsibility. the thing is, we can't just speak about it. We have to speak about it in the way that we act also.
Right.
We have to speak
In
about
what
it
way?
some-
Exactly what does
well,
that mean?
The thing is, in the way that we act in that, we have to more or less set boundaries.
Right.
Like we have to set boundaries from the very beginning. The way we project ourselves, the way we talk to people, the way we, when they approach us, we need to set that boundary to say, look, I respect you, you need to give me that respect.
Do you think it's all about power? The fact that a lot of us women don't have the power, and so therefore we have been left to the whims, you know, and anything can happen to us.
Absolutely. I feel like, you know, women are intimidated
Right.
by this industry anyways. The men are in power. I have been on sets where I have seen things that weren't appropriate.
Right.
And this is many, many years
Right.
ago,
Mhm.
right? I do recall one time I was on set and I had just arrived and there was this young lady there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the crew members was trying to get her to go into a trailer
Wow.
with them.
Wow.
And she was refusing
Uh-huh.
to go. And he turned to me and he said, "Tell her I'm
Right.
okay, that she can
Oh,
come
okay.
with me."
So you should be like the conduit to kind of let him get his way.
Exactly.
Wow.
And he was very well known.
Right.
I'm
Wow.
not going to call any names.
Sure.
But I turned to him and I said, "Well, I don't know you like that,
Right.
so I can't tell her that you're okay."
Mm-hmm.
I was asked to leave the set
Oh,
within,
no.
I would say, 15, 20 minutes
Oh no.
after I arrived.
Because you didn't accept.
My
and
guess is
yeah.
that's the reason. No one
Right.
said that was the reason,
Wow.
but I was scheduled to work,
Mm-hmm.
and then this happened, this incident happened. Within minutes of me walking through the door.
Right.
I hadn't been there for more than half an hour.
Wow.
And someone came by, production person came by and told me that they no longer needed me for the day,
Wow.
that I can go
How
home.
did it make you feel, Karen?
I felt terrible, and I also was so worried about that young
That
woman
young woman, right.
that was on the set.
And maybe knowing you, maybe even more so, because
Right.
you're a very caring person. So did you ever hear from her?
You know, it's funny. I had never
See
seen
her?
her before,
Right.
and I have never seen her
Wow.
since.
And Nasima, do you see any actual change happening within society with what's going on right now? Because obviously there's, you know, society goes through its moments. It has one thing it's in uproar about for 2 seconds. Do you see an actual change in society in terms of, saying, the MeToo campaign? Has that done anything in your opinion?
Okay, I believe MeToo campaign is a stronger and a bigger provide a bigger platform for women and girls, especially who were they had a fear to come up, speak
Right.
up, share their experiences
stories,
with
yeah.
the world. So I think it's a good opportunity, but I think the sexual harassment lies within the systems.
Right.
So gender, as far as in my belief, gender inequality exists, and that perspective regarding women and girls,
Mm-hmm.
that men in power or without power even, but they have the privilege of being a man.
Right.
As far as that mentality exists, and we don't bring that systematic change, that education, the awareness,
Right.
I'm sure, and we all know these platforms give the opportunity, the platform to
Right.
speak, but I think we need more serious, profound, and strong change.
Right.
To
the
bring
system.
the change to
Right.
the system, to the
Right.
way we think as a society, as we behave
Right.
towards girls and women. So that thing, I think we shouldn't miss that. So because these are like kinda a part of something,
Right.
but it's not the whole picture.